The beauty of that routine.
And now, welcome! It's time for Friday Night Marketing! We're gonna rock! We're gonna roll! Rock and roll! Get real and bold! Come on, join the show now! It's about to unfold! Get raw, get real, get results now! We're the latest steel, making waves loud! On this stage, we ignite! Every Friday night, brand new fight! Get real, get results now! We're the latest steel, making waves loud! On this stage, we ignite! Every Friday night, brand new fight! In the spotlight, feel the fever! Every pitch and quest! Dreams are big, get bigger tonight. Push the limits, reach new heights. So grab your seat, don't blink an eye. 'Cause Friday night we'll touch the sky. And now, welcome! It's time for Friday Night Marketing Raw!
Bada bong, bada bang, it's Friday Night Marketing Raw. Hello. What a week. Hope you've had a good one. Hi, Tom Clark. Hopefully some of you lovely people, as you come on, will join me on camera, because it's just me here at the moment. But I know some others will be along. Oh, here comes Mr. Stephen Miller.
Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. What I've done is I've come on too early, and I should have blown my nose before I came on to the stream. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
That's fine. Rough and ready on a Friday night.
It has been one of those sort of hay fevery kind of weeks where not too bad, but things are running.
Yeah, I've got my window cracked at the moment because it's been so warm and sunny today, and it really heats.
27 degrees in here right now, which is crazy because it's not been that hot outside.
Well, I got the window open at 10 o'clock at night. Alexa,
yeah,
what's the temperature in here?
The living room temperature is 23.9 degrees.
20, just about 24 degrees at the
That's
moment.
crazy, isn't it?
It's
I've got a
really
little-
pleasant. In an hour or two, I'll have to
That
shut
that's
the window.
nice, but
Yeah.
that's where I am because
That's where I was a few hours ago when I came back
Yeah.
into the office, having been out a while because the sun had been beating in. Hi, Dan.
Hello, hello. How are we, both?
hello.
I am
Not
doing
bad.
good.
You're whinging about the weather. Was that what I just joined
we
in
were
and
just
saw?
having.
Pretty much,
I mean,
we're British. What's what we
not
do?
whinging. It's been warm. I'm not complaining about the warmth.
What's
No,
your temperature? I've got to win this, surely.
Outside's been around about 23 degrees, hasn't it?
Oh,
Something like that.
32 I'm at right now.
Right.
What, in there?
In
No.
In
I've
here.
got the aircon on at 23.
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
in here, next to the computer, I've been sitting in about 27, 28 degrees with
Oh, no,
nearly
too hot.
50% moisture in the room. As
Oh.
well. So it's been a bit sticky, but it's been all right.
Yeah.
It's been
I'm thinking sometime
Is
in
that what
June,
the
I'm
sound
probably
is? You
gonna
just
have-
getting off your seat.
It's
and
just squelching.
kicking
Yeah,
to
that's
the
all
left.
it is.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to get my air conditioner out probably sometime in June. I'm guessing this year.
I've been looking at an air conditioner. It's going to cost a couple of £1,000, but it might be worth it.
Couple of
I-
£1,000. Is it?
I-
Is it
Yeah.
that much?
Lot.
It's one that would fit into things, so we'd have to get a hole in the roof
Actually
and
having it put in, yeah.
properly
I've
put in.
just
But it'll do the
I've got
heat
one
as
that
well,
vents out
and
the
I
window.
don't have any heating in here at all. So I've
Yeah.
got a sort of portable fire. Get rid of the portable fire, have an air conditioning which can do the heating as well.
Mhm.
And
Is it a
solve
big
all their
space?
problems. It's a converted garage.
So
So it's
insulation.
about no. The insulation is amazing, but there's no through draft.
Right.
So there's one window at one end, and there's nothing at the other end, and the door just doesn't let any air come through.
Yeah.
Which is why it does get ridiculously hot in here.
Would
But,
a
in the
portable one
winter,
not
it's
work?
brilliant.
Like a plug-in
Well-
sort of aircon, not a fan, but like an aircon portable machine.
Yeah, it would work, but I don't really have a lot of space in here because this is like in fact, one of the things I was thinking of doing as a video for people was sort of showing how small this space really is. Because actually, across it's 8 foot, something like that, from front to back, and this is the length of a desk. So that's a really small space. And over there, there's a sofa and there's a telly, and so there's not much room between the sofa and the units. And then at the end, there's a bed, and so there's not much. I haven't got a lot of floor space. I've got plenty of room. I'm not, I'm not cramped or anything. There's not a lot of floor space. So having something that's on the ceiling that does everything, I think would be better. And plus,
Is
it's
this
one of
the
those
next
cheap
brand?
ones
Is it
as well.
Steve Meller marketing under the stairs? Is that the?
No, the next thing I want to do is Steve Meller's Poo Sticks, where I sell portable bidets to unsuspecting public.
Well, I'm sure there's a few marketers that you could send a few to start.
I'm
off
in.
with.
Send me the JV doc. I'm definitely in.
Obviously, yeah, people are gonna love it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so how's your week's been? Or your week been, I should say. How's the week been?
It's been a good week, to be honest. I've got a lot done this week. I've had a bit of time, and I've also had the time to refine my deep agents a little bit more. And I'm just astonished at what you can get AI to do for you now. This is what we dreamt of when it first was coming out. Wouldn't it be great if I could say, go and do all of this research, then put it together, then write a book in my style using this writing, like really explicit. And I've got these master prompts now that I can throw at a deep agent. It may come back with 1 or 2 questions at most. And then it just goes. And you do still have to keep an eye on them, because if you notice while it's processing, it started to hallucinate a bit, you need to stop it, because otherwise you're going to burn through a few hundred or thousands of credits, tokens, while it's just conjuring up utter bullshit. But yes, I've got some.
That does sound like almost every employee I've ever hired, really. You normally have to end up spending some money.
Let's be honest. AI has just killed outsourcing. Hardly need to outsource it. There are some specialist jobs, but like that report I sent you, Dan, I've got a deep agent where I can put in any URL for a product that's on Warrior Plus. I've got a version for Zoo as well. And it basically has been trained on all of their compliance regulations and what they say you can and can't do. So all I do is give it the URL and it sits there and it goes away for about 5 minutes. It comes back with that comprehensive, 9-page report.
Oh, it's extremely in depth.
I mean, obviously, if you got one that's really good, it's a page. It's just like, yeah, this is all great. But if you got a product like that bag of shit that I put through, which we will talk about, and I
didn't want to bring it up on the live. I figured you would, but I thought I'm
going to bring it up on the live.
Andy brought it up on the live earlier as well, so it's
I don't care. It is so, and I actually emailed out and said to people, just beware, this is a bag of shit. I mean, it was so bad, it warranted.
So that was your email, right? I was obviously just busy, and I think I was on a quarter time. And I just saw you pop up on my computer, and that just subject line. I was like, "Oh, I'll be reading that one later." I didn't know what it was about, but it was like, I'll be reading that one later. It's but this is where we're at. This is where we're at now in 2025. And if you look at the products that are out there, you've got a couple of good products, a lot of half-cut products, and then these WTF products. Like they don't solve. They don't even. I actually almost feel like they don't even try to solve anything anymore, right?
Yeah.
We're not even trying to make it out. I mean, what that's suggesting is a ready-to-go business that's earning him 500 and whatever a day in income is just
not feasible, is it?
Do you know what the shame of it is, though, Dan? Because the reason I got to see more of what's behind the scenes is that one of the Society 11 members, even knowing what it was, knowing it's a Billy Darr, knowing it's everything else, he was curious about the infrastructure it was built on. So he bought the front end to have a look, and he's reverse engineering certain bits. There is a lot of this idea that has legs. What doesn't have legs with Zentry or Zintry, depending on what you believe? It says Zentry twice on the sales page and Zintry spelt with a Y. And when you buy it, it says store it.
Something else. Yeah.
So it changes its name every couple of minutes.
That's probably just so Stripe doesn't shut their account down by seeing all this crap going through. That's what that would be. It'd be like, thank you for purchasing from Tesco's Direct. When you get in,
you can't delete any of the existing products that are in there. So you have to sell those prompt packs. And you look at it and you go, oh, that's a bargain. Here's one, $3 for Google Ads. That was the one that I'll show a clip. I've got the spreadsheet. It's just questions here. I'll read out a couple of. This is what they consider to be a prompt, and you get 200 of these for your $3. Right. Here's prompt number 1 that you can put into ChatGPT. Ready for how this prompt to help you with Google Ads. Prompt number 1. You type in, how does Google Ads work? I'm not joking. That is it.
I don't know. It is that bad. Before we get so deeply into this, because you were extolling the virtues of the deep agents and everything, and that's one side of AI that has really exploded. This is something. These 2 programs I made this week in a couple of hours. They are Python, which means that you can. So these have then been built as Windows applications, but you could export them to
compile them on anything. Basically.
Compile them on anything. Yeah, basically. And I built these because I was having a problem organizing some ROM collections for my gaming stuff. So this one takes a source folder and a destination folder and a list of game titles, because I had a load of ROMs that I didn't know what country they were from. So there were some Japanese ones, there were some USA ones, and yet there are lists of the ones that are online. So I took that list, I put a source folder and destination folder, and this moves all of those games that are in the list. Really simple idea, but it works. This one over here, ROM Manager, Those are the ROMs in a particular thing, and I can highlight them and I can delete them, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you've got to remember this: when you've got a ROM on an Android handheld, all of the box art, all of the videos that you download, all the logos that you download for it, they're stored somewhere completely different.
Yeah,
so it's really difficult to then click on one of them and delete it. You're leaving all this orphaned media around. That removes all the orphaned media as well, and it's saved me hours and hours and hours doing that.
And now he's gone.
And now he clicked the wrong button. He clicked the close. I've done that before. He clicked the Leave Studio. When you're presenting, the red cross is actually Leave Studio. Let's add him back in. I've clicked Leave Studio many times instead of End Share.
It's so easy to do, isn't it?
It is in this. It's a terrible design for a StreamYard, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason I wanted to talk about those because how quickly I got them made. Both of those were done with no more than 2 prompts in a thing I've been using called Tray. I've been using Tray for ages. There is a free tier of Tray, which you don't have to. They've literally just bought the paid tier in, which is $3 for the first month and then $10 subsequently every month. It's incredibly good. It's got Claude 3.7 in there. It's got all of the sort of latest AI stuff in there. Agents, MCP servers, all of that sort of thing. And with just 2 or 3 prompts per thing, it's made the whole thing. Just
Valtown has done a big update.
Yeah, I need to have a look at that actually. Yeah.
Well, and they still have a free tier, but I'm paying the $10 a month because it means you get custom domains and you get more usage, and I do quite a lot with it. But so I went, oh, you know what? When it first came out, one of the first things I built with Valtown that I actually put out in what you would call in the real world was I've got a site that does horoscopes and numerology and stuff like that. So I rebuilt the thing that I used to have in PHP that did numerology readings because it was ridiculously overcomplicated and a bit buggy, and all the readings were basically the same. So using AI, I was like, oh, we can really, So I made the thing, and it was all right. It was okay. I got it working, but it took like loads of prompts, and I was like, wonder what the new one's like. I just went in and gave it the same basic description that I'd started with before. And I gave it the rule set, which is a codex book I wrote, which I sell elsewhere. And I said, following those rules and everything else, that's what I want you to produce a nice chart for anyone, puts details in. This thing in, I think, 2 prompts it took, because the first one afterwards, something didn't work. When you click download at the end, it gave an error to download the thing in PDF format. And I went, the PDF download's not working. And it went, oh yeah, hang on, done. And out of the door, it actually built something that looked good. Whereas Valtown traditionally would build something that looked shit. And then you'd have to hope you could get within 1,000 lines of code, because that was about its limit before it hung up.
Yeah.
Well, there's no limit like that now. It's writing modular code. It's writing a main file and then all the stuff. So
I found that with Claude, with 3.7, that it was hitting its limit. That it was suddenly there was so much stuff in a thing, and it was on one file. Now I was writing something that I put onto somebody's website for them. And all I said, because it was struggling to do this, was, this is lots of functions in one file. Why don't you break these functions down into lots of different files and then just include them in the other file? And it did it, and it just did it. It fixed all the problems that it had with it. So if you know your way around coding a little bit, you can kind of tell it to do, I'll do this, and it'll
That's the thing. But what I'm really impressed with is up until now, I've always maintained you need to know a little bit. And it still helps, don't wrong. But you really had to know some stuff before.
Yeah.
In 2 prompts, I can get a completely working thing, and I haven't even looked at the source code. I tested it thoroughly. I've tried loads of things with it. I've made sure it's whatever, and I've asked the thing, is everything secure? And it is. I've not looked at a single line of source on that. Whereas The
Yeah.
old way, I had to keep going in and go, oh yeah, you fucked that right up. You know.
See, I'm not looking at source code either. It is just I'm just letting
Yeah.
it do it.
So
It's
it's
just
now
trying
in the hands of really anyone. Like people
Pretty
that have
much.
never
Pretty much.
coded before could
Yep.
sit down. Admittedly, I will say that now Valtan done the change, the way it orders, it's a little less obvious where things are to run it and stuff.
Right.
But you know, if you look at the help files, it's all in there. I just
Mm-hmm.
figured it out, but yeah, it's impressive stuff, and we really are getting to the point where anyone, no experience, can. There are a few things it helps to know. Like it helps to know
Sure.
there's a thing called SQL injection. It's good to know there's a thing that hackers exploit things. So you just explicitly tell it to make sure it's sanitizing all the input and that
Yeah.
it's not open to injection or any hacking attacks, and it will write code that is protected.
The greatest thing that now, of course, which we didn't have when I was writing websites, was you can do things in people's browsers. You can use their computers and their computing power in order to make apps work, even to store data on their machines in their browsers, and that just completely reduces your load on servers. It means that the final price that you end up paying for your services every month is ridiculously low. It's like, you can get an app with thousands of users and pay 30p a month.
Yes.
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Well, you know that I've continued to build more stuff using Together's AI. In fact,
Yeah.
it powers my numerology and astrology things. It powers a bunch of other things. I'm just going to log in now. Remember, I started this account yonks back with $50 in it.
With $50 in,
and
I
it took
remember.
me ages to even get through the $1. I've not put any more money in. Every month I get an invoice for nothing. I'm just going in now and seeing. Leave it dashboard. Where have they moved your balance? They've changed this. Oh, there we go. My current balance is $46.85.
Yeah.
I've not put
doing
anything
it that way. That is like the bunny.net of accessing these tools. Because
because
if you paid for Claude or ChatGPT, you'd be paying more than that. But because you can use, different systems and maybe tie a few systems together and get the smaller ones to offload some of the pressure.
Yeah, you use some
lot.
to help. What you do is you get one to write you what you would call a master prompt, to generate a master prompt based on this, and then you take that prompt and feed it into the next one. That's what you're doing code-wise behind the scenes, really. But it's doing it all for you. And
it's
sometimes
very exciting. And then couple that with Google Stitch, which is where UI is going. I mean, the world's your oyster, really, at the moment.
Oh, sorry, Evan's coming. Let me get Evan in. Didn't see Evan joining in there. Hi, Evan. Good to see you.
Hey guys.
I also had a little play with Nice Page this week, and that AI function. That's really nice.
It's all
really
right, isn't it? It's got, when it first appeared, it was utter rubbish. It was like, why have they put this in? Now you're like, oh, I'm glad they put this in, and it's just getting better with every update.
I'm not paying for it, and I don't feel the need to pay for it at the moment because you can save your project as a export your project,
as
delete
HTML.
it.
Yeah.
No. Just as a zip file. Delete the project in the thing, get on with another project, and then just load the other project. I mean, that's what we used to do way back when we didn't have, persistent projects and stuff. So it's easy, and it's a pretty good builder. And
I still build loads with it. And use it for templates are great as well. If you want to give someone a landing page template, you can build it in HTML in that, and then you just go in and you mark place markers, and then
it's exactly what I did with simple sales pages. That is, I built the template that they could then use, and I'll be doing a similar thing in the next product as well. But that's the next product. Got to get this one finished first.
Yeah.
I am going to add something to this product that I wasn't going to do, but I want to have some excuse to code something. There are various different tools that I use when I write email, like one that will take a word or a phrase and put it into all the different versions of Unicode, or one where you can put a little bit of text in a box and it will change it from all caps to sentence case, or or lowercase, or whatever you want, or finding an emoji, so something like that. I'm going to build a little dashboard, and people are going to have access to that as well. So
nice,
little unannounced bonus, but just purely because I want to try and build something and see how it all fits together.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea always for good email writing.
Yeah.
Never going to run out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, email writing, I think, is by itself is just as different kind of, let's say, copywriting industry, isn't it, really?
Yeah, completely.
I was on a call with someone earlier today, and they said, I've got this sales copy, but I think it can be improved. And so we went over to it, and I said, right, look, I could sit here and tell you 101 improvements, but let's do this. Get that URL, get that bit of content there, and get that. Go to a deep agent, and now give it all of that. Tell it to go through it, look at it, analyze it as if it was a copywriting expert, and then come up with, suggest changes and rewrite it. And literally, it used like a couple of 100 credits, and in about 5 minutes, it had a bit of copy. I was just like, I was going through it, and I was going, I can't find anything I'd change.
It's good, isn't it? It's scary good as well.
You didn't need to spend 3 weeks on the headline.
Yeah.
No. I mean, now you've got AI. What you do is you go to Billy Darr's Magic Store of Prompts, and you buy the sales copy prompt pack, and that's got the first prompt in sales one is please write a headline.
Right.
Of course, if you're really smart, you go to Billy Darr's sales page, put all of that into ChatGPT, and say, I want a sales page like that for this product. Here are my scripts. Here's my workbook. Here's all of the stuff. And then it'll just do it all for you.
P.S. Please make it so that it's actually FTC compliant.
It will do it as well. That's the other thing. It will actually.
Yeah.
I've been working on a little side project. I want to show you guys, see what you guys thinking.
Yeah, okay.
Let me
Bear in mind, we are streaming on YouTube still, but as long as you're happy that it's seen, that's fine.
Yeah, no problem. If somebody wants to copy his open project, anyway, anybody can copy it and reiterate or whatever. Where is the share thing in this? Okay. Share screen. Screen. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can see it, Andy.
I will add it in. Hang on. Yep.
This is like a little bit enterprise level kind of tool. Solution wise, if I kind of
I don't even understand the headline, so
right. So basically process intelligence for the sectors of the business world of things.
right.
Basically transport, flight tracking, shipping tracking, smart car control, remote drone control, real-time analysis of remote workers and things like that. Basically, kind of, you could say tracking intelligence tools could be applied to just drone operators or to hauliers, to carriers, to shippers.
Oh, yeah, but what is it?
Essentially, is kind of will cover this kind of industry. It's like banking, finance, consumer goods, healthcare, and all that. It basically gathers intelligence. Let's say you feed a bunch of data to it, right? And we'll gather intelligence for you, evaluate specific data points, where is basically you losing or gaining, and also real life satellite tracking of GPS. Let's say you got. This is basically for companies, essentially transport companies, like majority is geared for transport and consumer goods carriers like for this supermarkets, mini markets, and all that kind of industry. So idea behind this is basically right now we don't have that much technology for businesses be drone enabled and track drones. For example, a lot of people eventually will move to drone deliveries, for example, and
Right.
they don't have anything like this yet. So we try to make something that everybody could utilize.
But I still don't really get what it is.
No, nor me. I haven't. I
No,
basically
I don't
the
either.
last 5
I
minutes.
see the
I've-
industries it serves, and I see a lot of words, but none of them I've not seen in that order before, so that they mean anything to me.
Well, it's richly, you got to feed your data, and obviously you can mine data for real time, that data tracking and logistics tracking, or vehicles that are moving, or drones that are moving, airplanes, ships, trucks, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I don't have any of those things.
Yeah, like literally different industry than I am industry, like kind
Yeah.
of.
So who would you?
This is basically, I already have a couple of contracts. I already have done similar thing for a couple of companies, and I try to make another kind of similar
But
thing
what
with
sort of companies? You don't have to give us the name of the company or anything confidential, but as an example, the type of the company and what was your pitch to them in the first place? Because
Well, for this basically pitch it will be, if you're a transport company, if you already established and you have some data and you want to really have a safe place that you could track your data, track your inventory, your workers, your trucks, and everything else, that you can do that. Currently, it's very expensive for a lot of companies. Like we try to make it basically a lot cheaper than anyone else, so they have similar more powerful tools than the current ones. And lots of them also, they really don't have a technology that they can track through GPS data of the airwaves from the governments, or literally whoever control the airwaves, that you can get the instant drone data, rockets data, anything that you really want to track on the air.
rocket.
Yeah, even if
Get a
it's
pitch
rocket.
Elon Musk.
Well, I don't know, like really for everybody else to have a
North
access
Korea.
to the data. Yeah, or North Korea. But generally speaking, you can adapt it to do a lot of tracking stuff, especially live tracking, not click tracking, but really live. If you let's say you are an employee for a company and you had a mobile phone or a tracking device on your truck, and you're driving from one country to the other.
Yeah,
With this, you can live track where it is, exact point.
they're already doing this. Companies like
They
logistics.
are, yeah,
companies
they are
already-
doing that. They are doing that. One company actually approached me. Kind of, they had a system. They were paying really like 19,000 pound a year, and
For a
we said, okay,
But
GPS.
it's a whole business, and you're making millions. Do you care about 20K a year? It's nothing.
well, for the small guys, is a lot, but for big companies, it doesn't matter for sure. So, idea behind what this was, we already know there's industry, there's a kind of people really paying huge sums, and we try to make it like basically medium bridge that have another option there. They don't have to pay huge amount, they don't have to pay huge contracts. They just basically pay like monthly subscription and use all the tools that normally even the other company doesn't give them. So that's idea behind that is really to help the transport industry, tracking industry, to have a private setup with servers and everything else behind that. Then we do the contract. If they would just want to use the site, they can use it, pay flat fee. And then if they want the special infrastructure be built for them specifically, then we can do that. That's the idea behind this. But there is already like literally thousands of different companies do the site type of thing.
So, and your only real competitive edge is we're like them but cheaper at the moment. What's the unique?
Well, not if they stick an air tag in their stock.
Yeah, like unique thing about this is obviously having the ability really to track kind of drone, remote workers, remote platforms, remote live tracking basically. Even emergency companies could use this, like for the, let's
I
say.
mean, lots of people could use it, but it's whether or not
Well, it's
I don't-
currently it's very expensive, and they are specific for companies. Like, they pay 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 to certain companies, but there is nothing like it as a medium kind of place that general public has a smaller fleets or smaller business things to actually utilize.
but
I
that's
mean,
because
listen,
all the small peaks have got eaten up by all the bigger companies. See you later, Dan.
Yeah,
see you later. Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know, this area, I'm just like dabbing in, see what happens. Especially transport and transport tracking.
Mm.
Becoming a little bit like spy agency. Email
I mean,
tracking, everything
it's
tracking.
not a bad idea, because actually, if you're right and all the small companies have been bought out by other big companies, that could be a payday fairly early on. If
Mhm.
they want to say, "Oh, well, we'll buy your technology because otherwise you're going to put us out of business."
Well, ideas like, for example, I had another guys like approaching me. They are doing basically lots of digital, basically display boards for advertising, like
Mhm.
Euro-wide, worldwide, and all that. For example, they don't have a system to actually track. So we developed something now that they can install on these displays, actually can track, even can facial recognition track if somebody looking that board.
Right.
So
Interesting.
like, because obviously company having millions of boards everywhere, right? They don't
Mm.
know which one is kind of somebody looked or somebody's there or just basically middle of nowhere, nobody sees. So according to that, they can adjust whereas the more footfall is, for example, adjusted displays where they actually people could see. And
Mm.
this is another area that could be iterated and added this kind of things. So literally you could say anything that you could class as an inventory, even the army point of view or a supplier point of view to the army could utilize something like this. Normally they either using booking type of software or some sort of inventory software, but really the tracking is dismal. Nobody know what's in the warehouse, nobody know what's in the shelf, and nobody knows really what's on orders are. The idea is basically have something that you could real time track most of the things, as long as
Sure.
you have some sort of censored camera on places, especially on visual view, digital kind of city center type of displays or shopping centers.
Mhm.
Right now, it's just literally like a TV looking out, right? There's nothing interaction happening with it. You can't really detect much with it. It's just basically moving picture. But with some new technology, obviously with help of AI, with help of AR, and as well as VR stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
so now you could implement a really good facial recognition technology like China's already have. Every street in China got facial recognition stuff. So advertising world need to know more data, need to know who's interacting with what, so they basically save cost and also scale, like literally, like where's the most likely to be seen. I mean, for me, I think like big movement is right now, generally speaking, people moving away from social media, like medium, small, large publishers, you name it, like majority, even YouTubers moving to their own self kind of platforms, right? Because we know what's happened to Alex Jones, right? Or if Trump's getting blocked out of Twitter. So literally privatization of the internet per individual, like more and more becoming evidence. Like, I mean, you can see people like Jeremy Clarkson goes alone, like become its own media company, right? Generally, people like Tucker Carlson moving to become their own media companies. Most of the podcasters want to do same as Joe Rogan does, right? So there
Yeah.
is lots of space.
I don't see how this logistics stuff helps them.
Well, the thing is, you can actually track whatever data you give it. That's the idea. You don't have to just depend on a transport data. You could give your sales data, will analyze and gives you a little bit better, basically, analytic out. It's all about really what Google used, for example, DeepMind analytics stuff, the same engine back of this thing, which is really what Google could spew out. You could say the current AI, which is, you don't know sometimes what you get. But it was something that I'm just playing around on the side. See something come out of it or be useful.
Seems to be quite a big thing for a little side project, like something that tracks everything and deals with. It seems like a massive thing. But anyway, good luck to you with it.
Yeah, cheers.
Hi, Guido.
These guys.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
It was just something really as a hobby. I'm doing this, not like I don't have specific time for it or specific data.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Chris. But something to
you
just
doing,
do,
Chris?
mess around with the
right.
no-code AI stuff, right?
What happened?
Don't know.
Well,
What the hell? I stopped talking there for a second. Did I do that?
No, you didn't.
I don't think so.
Hello, gents.
Oh, what
How
is
you
that?
doing? Yeah.
Not much. Not much. I figured I was bored tonight. Maybe I'll kick in over here and see what's going on in the old Moneymakers group.
Yeah, well, we're just
No.
hanging out and talking all sorts of.
I did get your email today, Andy.
Oh, yeah. The
I got a
one
kick
calling
out of
out
that.
Vintry for being a bag of shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I got. we didn't really get to talk about it, right? So this, how the frick? And I will say, I'm in a conversation on Facebook with Shane Nathan. Oh, sorry, Tom, didn't see you there. I'm in a conversation with Shane Nathan that's been going back and forth, and the last thing I sent him over 24 hours ago now was me going, how did this get through compliance, and attaching a copy of that PDF.
Exactly.
And needless to say, there has been no reply since. Radio silence, which is what they normally do with Warrior Plus. But so
pretend we
anyway,
don't see it.
Let's have a look. So last week, after we'd actually gone off the live stream, we were talking about this. And we were talking about it off stream predominantly because at that point it hadn't launched. And so we didn't know if we were looking at the final version of anything. And we were laughing because it wasn't yet approved by Warrior Plus. And we were like, there's no way.
And there was like a day to go on it as well. It was
right.
You know,
It was
just
about
about to launch and it hadn't been approved. And
yeah. But anyway, then it gets approved. So actually, let's reload the page because I think if we reload the page, we'll soon see that, it's 48 copies left now. That's good. And don't forget, you can get your free discount just by going to leave, as always, which is only available for 2 minutes, 25 seconds, except you just reload the page. It's nearly sold out. And then we were looking at this because basically it really tell you exactly what this is, and what it actually turns out to be is a big bag of plop.
Oh, dear friends.
So, and it's also got different names. Like it's called Zentry here, but in the bar it says Zentry app there, and it says Zentry in the copyright notice at the bottom as well. And anyway, we know somebody that actually got access, and obviously nothing is. I don't know. None of this should have got through. Let's just look at where this falls over on compliance, shall we? So this is the compliance report I ran on it. So this is just looking for things where the page has an issue with either Warrior Plus's terms or, of course, the FTC, because term number 1 of Warrior Plus's terms is it must not breach any FTC regulations. So here we go. So obviously it found a few issues there. Then it found some misleading income presentations, inadequate earnings disclaimers, bullshit testimonials, scarcity and pricing violations, misleading pricing claims, substantiated product claims, technology claims, and other things. This report, if I run this for a typical shit product, it'll be a 1 or 2 page report, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about 6 pages, 9. It comes up with 9 or 10 different things. And I'm like, yeah, this has passed Warrior Plus's thing and is selling on Warrior Plus and is currently, well, yesterday it was, let's see where it is in the top 10 now.
Vin Diesel.
I mean, you're using a Ronaldo.
Oh yeah, they got all
picture.
sorts of bullshit on the page there that, oh no, I've got to log in again. This could be a disaster.
I mean, isn't that like copyright breaking law anyway? Like using somebody else's image without them knowing?
I mean, yes, basically. Yeah.
Celebrity though.
There are strict rules on if you're implying. It depends on whether you're applying an endorsement or not, or whether you just leave it unclear, which is what they do.
That's what they do.
So let's have a look.
I think there is rule says if you're benefiting from it financially is illegal. That's it.
Right.
Interestingly, it's not in the top 10 now. Let's
Check the last 7 days though.
I'm wondering if it's been. Let's just have a look.
I think they might have.
I mean, it is just basically transaction thing for Warrior Plus. I think that's all.
Right.
Warrior Plus doesn't care how many refunds he's going to get, right? As long as they can get the house wreck, doesn't matter.
Top 25.
And next week he will launch another one.
Hey, Andy, when you put a product through that gets refunded, does Warrior Plus still take their percentage off the top, whether it's been refunded or not?
No.
No. Only if the sale is complete, correct? Do they take their chop off the top?
Yeah.
This offer is being sold privately and not publicly available on the Warrior Plus marketplace.
It's been.
So I went into Munchai. It's been, yeah.
Well, I wonder if that is a result of us sending a thing to Shane Nathan and going, what the fuck? But he hasn't replied to me.
Normally they let it cool down.
Still done 500 sales. I mean, whatever.
Oh, I know. It done over 600 this morning because that's the message Billy Darr was mailing out to all his affiliates. 600 plus sales, mail again. This is hot, you know.
And despite what you may think of him, he probably is because of the way that Warrior works. It probably is around 600 right now.
Oh yeah, and the sad thing is just how piss poor it is. But that's another story. You know, surprise, surprise. Billy Darr puts out a product every 2 weeks, and they're not very good quality.
I'm sure that at one time he may have had a decent product.
Oh yeah,
but that has been probably so long ago.
When he first started, it's like Glinkoski's first 1 or 2 products were actually really good.
Glyn used to make some really good products, and then all of a sudden he just kept doing the same thing again and again and again, and it just started.
Right.
You know, I think that's the same with a lot of people. It just starts that spiral.
Yep.
But here's the thing, though. Are you like Glenn's problem? He was really good at one thing, right? He wasn't good at a lot of things, and when he tried doing other things, they were just shit products. They just didn't.
But this is the problem with our particular market.
Right.
That it requires you to put out a lot of products because, you know, everyone's focusing on the launches.
Right.
But you know, you're right. When somebody starts up in business, they usually start up because they're really good or they really love one thing, and they want to do that one thing. And what we're not, you know, none of us are really teaching at one level is getting consistent sales with one product, which, because again, it's not the industry, it's not what everyone's talking about.
By the way,
again's talking about the next launch.
Mr. Muller, you almost got our housekeeper fired.
Really? I've never touched him. What?
That's remote.
because we got into this huge argument about David Tennant.
Right.
Huge freaking argument. And it's your fault.
Of all the things.
It
Of
is
all
your
the things.
fault.
I haven't even mentioned him for 2 years.
The podcast that you did, one of the other guys mentioned it in the podcast.
Oh, was that the What's in the Box one? I think there was.
Yes, that was the one.
Jim was talking about it. Yeah.
And I told her, because she's a big Doctor Who fan and a big nerd, I told her, "Oh, you have to go watch this. This is my friend on this. Go watch this." She said, "Okay," and boy, she couldn't wait to tear into me whenever she.
That is the Doctor Who fan. Everybody's having a go at everybody else. It is just the thing. I made a joke this week on Twitter. But again, people are talking about the new series, and by and large, I think there's a bit of a consensus that the writing on this season hasn't been as good as you would have expected from Russell T Davies, who brought the thing back.
Right.
So I put it on Twitter. I half expect Russell T Davies to lift off a mask, and all of a sudden there's Chris Chibnall underneath.
Oh.
And the amount of abuse I got on that, just on that one tweet, was
that's
just
not
ridiculous.
Nice.
I mean,
that's not nice.
It was just crazy. I mean, it's a fairly mild joke about the showrunner not feeling like it's the showrunner, But that's what Doctor Who fans are like, unfortunately.
It is. They're absolutely insane. They're rabid. And it's like crazy. But you almost got my housekeeper fired. Just let you know. It's your fault.
But is that because she likes David Tennant or doesn't like David Tennant?
She thinks the show could have been better without him, and my argument was no, it couldn't have, because I like him. He's an interesting character.
I'm not sure the show would have been better without him, but that's really because a lot of the show comes down to the writing and the production and everything else.
Exactly. Exactly.
And as much as he did, I mean, there are bits of David Tennant I think are really good, and then there are other episodes where I just don't think he's very good.
Well, here's the thing, and then she said, then she threatened me that I better not say anything about Matt Smith. This is how far behind we are. I don't know what it is
about Matt Smith. David Tennant was the big name. All of a sudden, there's this cadre of fans who've picked up on the Matt Smith thing. I think it's since not Game of Thrones. What's the new one called? House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Matt Smith's picked up a whole load of fans who've suddenly gone, he was in a thing called what? And they've gone back and listened to it. And they've just got completely into from Matt Smith. So that's all they knew is that era, and that's sort of formed their opinion about the whole series.
Well, here's the thing. I think
it's good that new people are coming into it, because I'm getting old and I might die anytime soon. Jim Broadbent.
Did Jim Broadbent do it?
In that same sketch, yeah.
Yeah. Right. This sketch. But but here's the thing. I think that ugly people like Matt Smith and handsome people like me love Tennant. So that's the divide right there. So if you're an ugly nerd, you like Matt Smith. But if you're a handsome nerd like me, then you really like David Tennant. What are you laughing about? We're gonna fight.
Because I like Tom Baker. I don't know what that says about me.
Oh dear God, that is my son's favorite. That was my son's favorite Doctor.
Christopher Eccleston was the best Doctor. I wish he'd done more than one season. Good.
I think he was possibly. I mean, I don't think he's given as much credit as he should have been in this one. But I did rewatch the series last year, and it's a lot better than you think it is. It's a lot better than you remember it. So,
amazing! It's amazing. Resurrected year after year after year. So I think next time she's coming, we're probably going to argue over who's the best bad guys, Alex or Cybermen. So
Wow.
Who knows?
You have to buy a bunch of flowers for your housekeeper, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Or I have to learn how to run a vacuum and mop. So I would rather buy flowers. That's easier than running a vacuum and mop. Yeah.
An even easier way, so you don't have to do either, is that next time she says something like Matt Smith or is the best doctor, just agree with her.
Yeah.
It's easier all round.
Here's your pay. Get out.
Just say, yeah, whatever.
Take your Matt Smith loving ass right here. Get out of here. So, that'd be it. So,
Well, then. We're nearly at an hour. I can't be asked to stay on YouTube any longer, so I'm going to click the end button.
All right.